Renee, you're here with us today. You're kind of got a unique story, and I thought it would be great for us just to touch base on it because, you know, you've been suffering from TMD and oral facial pain and migraines for quite a while, but you're also a practicing dentist. And so your story is a unique one, not in the sense of people suffering, but in the sense of, okay, I've tried a lot of different things, what's worked and what hasn't, and you have a knowledge base that not every patient that walks into my door has. And so I wanted to ask you, how have things been? Because you attended one of the DTR courses this year in Seattle, and we treated you as a live patient. And you're from Denver, and came out to Eugene for a follow-up. And so I wanted to just ask you, first of all, what were your symptoms prior to, and then how do you feel now, essentially? And what's kind of been your story?
So, I mean, as far as dental pain, facial pain, headaches, those kind of things, I've experienced and had them, you know, for over 20 years. Started before dental school in college, and you know, in college I think I had a dentist who made me a night guard or something like that, so I didn't have a lot of dental knowledge then, but I just, you know, got help. And then, you know, in dental school I was still experiencing pain and headaches and all of those things, and I was going through courses, occlusion courses and stuff, and even one of my instructors treated me also with an occlusal guard. So I've had the experience where I've been, you know, a patient, but I've had access to a lot of care during it. But it's also been, you know, in between patients, someone would see me or help me and stuff like that. So it kind of continued on throughout that, you know, time I was in dental school. I was seeing somebody outside, a TMJ specialist. I was seeing a TMJ specialist within the school. I was seeing the occlusal, you know, instructors too. And so it was, I wouldn't say ever truly managed. I mean, I just learned to live with the pain, and I did what I was told, and you know, how it was primarily treated. And so through this process, you know, I went through dental school the same way. I've probably worn a splint for, you know, over 20 years, I would say, diligently every night. I've probably had maybe 6 or 7 different kinds through the years. And that was just, you know, part of it was when I wasn't wearing it, I would crack a tooth or something like that. So I thought, well, at least I'm preserving my dental, you know, at least I'm preserving my dentition. But outside of dental school, I mean, I continued on still seeking help within the dental, you know, community, but then also outside of it. I mean, I've had times where I've done acupuncture, chiropractics, massage therapy, oh gosh, you name it. I've done within the dental community. I've had, you know, splint therapy. I've had orthodontics several times to, you know, try to change my occlusion to fit a different way, to increase my overbite. So all of these things I understand, but as a practicing dentist, I treat some TMJ. But I also just needed to just be a patient, like just do whatever, you know, needed to be done. So, and then I've also seen oral surgeons too. You know, the last thing that I was supposed to do was to have arthrocentesis to flush out both joints, to see if that would help. And then I was to go back through orthodontics one more time. But as with any patient or any person with TMJ, you also have life that you have to deal with, you know. A child who needs an appendectomy, or a kid who needs this, or, you know, things like that. So, you know, as much as I can, I mean, I think I've worked hard at trying to figure it out through the 20-some years. But I had kind of gotten to a point where it was just a daily, that's my day-to-day, the headache, the, you know, fogginess, the trying to eat as soft foods as I possibly could to try to get through my day smiling and treating patients and not letting anybody know that I'm in this chronic pain.
Sure.
And so that's kind of a long answer for your
No,
question.
that's fine.
But I kind of happened upon the DTR classes through a friend, and had kind of made mention about she was doing research online and came across your name. And so it was kind of an odd way to get in there. I mean, I probably had found a little bit of information about it through the years because I do take quite a bit of CE. But I was open-minded enough I was drawn to it as a patient, and also drawn to it as a clinician too, because I was like, well, this sounds pretty interesting. Maybe it's something I can incorporate, and it's something measurable. So I had really no knowledge of what it was when I stepped into the first class that I took in Denver. That was more of an overall type of class to get some information, and right away it did spark my interest because I learned as a CR dentist. I practice, normal general dentistry.
Right.
And I've taken some neuromuscular classes too, but I'd say primarily I do bread and butter dentistry and some orthodontics too. And so it just sparked my interest pretty well to go on to another course in Seattle and continue learning about it. And it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it makes more sense to me than manipulating someone's jaw into a certain position that you can't treat the patient to that on every day-to-day dentistry.
Sure. So what have you noticed since, because when you were in Seattle, you were one of the patients, because a lot of these courses, most of the courses are live patient treatment where we review your symptoms and then kind of treat you and see where you're at. So I'm curious to know what has improved since then, and we just did a second revision here in my office, and we'll need one more to really kind of get the maximum benefit out of this. But what's different since your time in Seattle?
So, well, the first class in Denver, I was able to have these readings done on myself there, and it sparked enough of an interest, it sparked a hope in me also, to just be able to visually see what I was feeling in my mouth. And I've had occlusal adjustments before, in these specific areas, but to see it and read it and know. So it sparked this hope in me to be like, okay, this is interesting. So then to go to Seattle and to be in a different state, in a different place, and to be hooked up and everything reads exactly the same, then I think, well, it's accurate. It's giving me the exact same readings as I was in a different state and everything. So to go through those first adjustments and everything, I mean, almost right away I felt better. Like it was kind of like a weight lifted, to be honest, because it's just, I try to concentrate and focus and talk with people, but I am in a lot of pain is what, I was feeling then. And I was hiding it too, so that, people think, well, is there something wrong or anything like that? If people ask me directly, I say, no, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. My life is fine, but I'm in a lot of pain. And that's just how I live my life. So in Seattle, to sit down and I had one adjustment on Saturday and then one on Sunday or something like that, 2 in a row. The first day, I just felt this pretty much incredible release and just relaxation. I slept better than I have slept in forever, because I usually wake up 2 or 3 in the morning in pain. I just, not insomnia, but I just wake up in pain. I have to shift around. I can't get comfortable. And I slept the whole night. And so it was just like the first time in several weeks that I felt that way. And then the next day to have some revision too. It's just, and to be the first time to not have a headache, to just sit and not have a headache was an incredible thing. Like, even some days I have that headache that just is pounding that you can hardly concentrate, but you still have to be a dentist and go through your day and treat patients. But to just not have a headache, or even one that is just so manageable, it's just amazing. So I think between Seattle and now, I've just realized how much pain I was really in, to see the contrast, because it has been so long that I have just, mustered the, just to get through my days. But I think you just have like a strength when you have that pain so long that you just have to kind of know that that's the way you're going to live. So it's really wonderful to have a contrast now, to be like, okay, I'm going to go and be with my kids. I've got this energy to do stuff that I didn't have before. You know, headaches that, I mean, I don't take pain medication now. I just want to experience this, you know, kind of getting better. And it's really been amazing for me in my life. I mean, to the point that I can't really describe it, because I just was existing.
Sure, I hear that a lot.
You know, just existing and just trying to get through. Now I feel this optimism, like, wow, you know, like, you know, I can experience things and go and swim with my kids and not be like, okay, I'm in so much pain, I'm just pretending that I'm having a good time. But now I just, you know, can hang out with my kids and concentrate on them and not be like, when can I sit and not have to talk?
Right.
And things like that. So.
What about, has your ability to eat different foods, because you were on a soft food diet there for quite a while, has that improved, and are you able to eat things that you were avoiding beforehand?
I think I'm less like conscious about what I'm eating now. I just pretty much eat what I want. Before it was like, you know, maybe a couple of bites of this and then I move on to something softer. I mean, I think just in general in my life, I've tried to not eat very hard stuff. Now, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'll eat more, you know, and like sometimes I've pushed it since I've seen you in Seattle. Like I have just, you know, I'm back on nuts and all of these other things that I wasn't eating, or I would eat very sparingly. And so I think I have pushed it. Sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I've eaten just too much of that. I need to kind of scroll it back.
Sure.
But in general, I'm less, you know, less tentative. I still won't chew gum. I mean, maybe I was never really much of a gum chewer, but
Sure.
You know, I just kind of am not as conscientious about what I'm, you know, trying to eat and stuff like
Good.
that. So.
What about the brain fog? Has that eased up or improved?
It has tremendously. I mean, even sitting here right now, I feel just, I'm here with you, you know.
Yeah.
Before, it's just this cloudiness, I can't even describe it, but I was just like, it was just that pain, just, you know, just trying to get as little amount as I could to get through my day, with that fogginess there, just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
trying to get through the day. But I feel really good right now. I mean, I don't have a headache, I don't have pain, it feels really good.
Well, good. Well, thank you for allowing me to share your experience and your background. In short, glad you did it.
Absolutely, 100%. Like even, you know, more so than that. I mean, if I would have come across this years and years and years ago, I mean, I would have done it. I mean, I'm just thrilled to have gone through it. So.
Well, good. Well, thank you for allowing me to share.
Oh, well, thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you.